Hello, this is Kurt with our first Chess League TV show in quite some time. I apologize if it's a little bit noisy. My fan is running over here in the background because it's really, really hot out. So I'm not trying to be hot in my room. Not that I could avoid that, but you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, I'm just, we're gonna chill. We're gonna do a show. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. I haven't done this in forever. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I should be more on my game. And yet here we are. So, yeah, I was thinking of going over a game that I played yesterday. It was very interesting. I found it quite interesting. A lot of cool ideas. And then I have some positions for us to go through, of course. What would I be if not prepared? What would I be if not prepared? Oh, let me edit the stream title. Just editing that stream title. There we go. There we have it. Bada bing, bada boom. I think while we're waiting for more people to show up, we can play a little bit of warm-up blitz. First and only viewer, maybe. We're gonna play some warm-up blitz. Iago, you wanna play me? Let's play blitz. I might have to change my window a little bit. Oh boy. Let me fix this really quick. Oh god. What have I done? I think this will work. Give me 1 second. I'm just checking and seeing if the board is lining up properly. It's not, right? Okay. I'm a dirty Frenchman, what can I say? The problem is Iago knows my secrets. He knows what's coming. He knows exactly what's coming. It's the only thing I ever play. That Queen A5 winnower. Big surprise. He never could have guessed that this would be what I would play. Since it's the only opening I play as black. Never would have guessed it. What? 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 Take it. Whoa, am I frozen? What just happened? There we go, okay. This has to just be bad, question mark? Well, now that I say that, it might not be so horrible. It might be horrible, but it might not be so horrible. for this. This is one of those positions where I could very easily just have a trapped queen. You might not know theory, but you can protect your pawn. Like, I'm up 3 pawns. Now, my queen might be trapped after I take all these pawns. But for the moment, I'm up 3 pawns, and I'm very happy. If the queen is trapped, the queen is trapped. So be it. Such is life. No, the board's sort of not where I want to be on this one. Let me fix it. Knight g5! Is a good move? Question mark? Yeesh. Well, I think I'm winning, but I mean, this is the sort of position where I could easily lose due to the fact that it's blitz, and my queen might be trapped in a lot of variations. Basically all variations. He's won so much time. Okay. Let's go knight c6, I guess. Yeah, I don't know about this. For me. I could very easily be lost here. I might not be, though. He might be okay. Well, I could very easily be confused, though. That's a given. Being confused is a given. Yes, I agree that that is a legal move. I also agree that you're taking on f7. Okay. Okay. What are we got? So he's going to take on f7. Let's put the queen on a sensible square, because that's a good idea. Jesus. What a total disaster of a position. He's thinking about whether he wants to play knight takes or bishop takes, which is interesting. I might play knight takes, but what do I know? Yeah. Let's go to g6. He is knight d6, but then he's not taking the rook, right? So then I might actually be okay. His time is very low. Yeah. But if I take the bishop, he takes with check, right? So let's take this. Let's go knight f6, that's a tempo. Material claims to be equal. I don't know if I believe that. I get a piece here. No, I don't get a piece. Okay, I agree with that. Surprise long castles, my favorite move. I don't know if I... Oh, God. Legal. Very legal. Oh, God. You're about to see my time scramble blitz skills, or total lack thereof. Fuck. Yeah, I agree. I don't want to be there. I agree. No, can't play that. Let's go here. What the fuck? A6. No, that was a bad one. That was a bad one. This is gonna get real ugly. Use this check. Okay. To draw. Oh, he had rook e6. Jesus, the time scramble is real. Let's do one more. Actually, let me quickly look over that, because I was winning out of the opening, probably. Let's see. Yeah, winning. Knight takes is a blunder. That's a pawn too far. Jeez. Yeah, these positions get tricky. Queen f5. Yeah, good. Well, you were winning at the end, because you had rook takes e6. Yeah, it's mate in 6. Rook takes e6. But okay, let's do one more. We have a 2-second increment, just FYI. So flagging is harder. You play the King's Indian? Did I know that? I'm gonna play my same old bullshit. Yeah, you know what to do, because I've mentioned this on the channel before. But I'm okay with this structure. It's play usually is sort of like a Benoni. Yeah. No b5. e6, of course. Brilliant. Yeah. Castles. Now I'm going to make him waste a tempo after I go queen d2. Yeah, this is a very normal position for this line. Basically, white has two ideas. White can play b4, or white can play f4, e5, and sort of roll on the king side. The position's very dynamic. I think he should go knight e5, I want to say. That's sort of logical. But I always find that these positions are a little bit hard for black to play. I'm never sure exactly what black should be doing. I mean, Yago's tanking here. He doesn't know what he wants to play. It's not easy for black to play. It's tough. Knight e5, yep, I agree. I'm going to force him to waste the tempo here. Yep. By the way, that should have been h5, I think. But okay. Let's go h3. This move can be a little bit iffy sometimes, because the dark squares get a little weak. But I think this is okay here. He's gonna play f5, I think. Which I'm not convinced is such a problem. Queen h4 now. Really? I don't believe you. Now you're going f5. Well, that's a reasonable point. Okay, let's bring the knight back around. c4 here. Now this one. c4. Preventing knight d3. Okay. Well, what if I insist? Okay. That I am okay with. So here I have a trick. My trick is f4. Actually, my trick is less good than I thought it was. Okay, that wasn't the most brilliant thing I've ever done. But this is still probably good for me. But now I don't get e5. This was I have done something wrong. f4 was poor. Poor. Okay, so let's go bishop f3, I guess. Yes. Romantic. Just go knight g3. Oh, I thought I was going to get the flag there. Let's bring this rook back. He's not doing anything. I think he wants to play c3. I should have checked first. But now I'm getting... Oh, fuck, that's not hanging. I'm just... dumb. Ay, 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 alright. Oh my god. That's sad. Wow. Yeesh. What a game. What a pinnacle of a game that was a pinnacle of good play from everyone involved. Alright, let's go do something interesting. Not that that wasn't interesting, but watching two people who are bad at chess play chess maybe isn't the most interesting in the world. So, I want to show you guys a game that I played yesterday, because I thought it was interesting. And when I have interesting things, I like to share. So, this game, I had the white pieces, and this was a bishop g5 Grunfeld, which is a system that I play. I'm thinking of learning something else, honestly, because, like, basically, anything black does, it gets him a good position, but what really bothers me is the pawn sacrifice lines. Oops. So here, if white accepts the pawn, black is just probably better, honestly. But if you don't accept the pawn, then the bishop on g5 doesn't really make sense. So this line is a little bit problematic for white. So I'm going to probably learn something new. But my opponent played knight e4, which is the main line. And it's also decent for black. Bishop h4. And here, my opponent played c6, which is a bad move, because he's not attacking the center. And you know that I love myself some center. So the main line is takes and accepting the pawn. But even if you don't accept the pawn, you can play c5 here. And this is just pretty decent for black. But you can also, in this position, play c5. And this is also, this will transpose after cd knight c. This is just a transposition. So yeah, this is all fine for black. But he played c6, which is not as good because the pawn on c6 is less good than the pawn on c5. So when you can, you should play c5 instead of c6. It's the Grunfeld. You play c5. We know that. And I develop my pieces and target this knight that's sticking out a little bit, queen c2. Here he played a little bit of a strange move. He played bishop h6, which just seems odd. Bishop h6, his idea is to sort of prevent me from playing f3. And his other idea is that I can't really win a pawn on e4. Because if I go in for this stuff, if I go in for winning the pawn, this check is giving black a lot of compensation. I'm going to go uncastled. So say, I don't know, king f1. And all of a sudden the bishop pops out to f5. Just kidding, not in this position because of mate. Okay, so, you know, black does something like castles. And the bishop will come to f5, the rook will come to e8, and black has very good compensation for the pawn. So because of this, I don't want to win the pawn, but if I just develop normally, I can claim that why is there a bishop on h6? So that's what I did. I played knight e2, and I'm asking black, why is your bishop on h6? Wouldn't it much rather be on g7? Which it would. So yeah, this was not a good idea. It's interesting, but it's just not a good idea. So yeah, after knight e2, his position's a little bit problematic because he can't play bishop f5, which maybe he would want to maintain the knight, but I just take here, and he has a big problem, because if he plays knight takes, I'm snapping f5, I'm winning. If he plays e takes, I'm snapping e4, I'm winning still, because I'm going to take here with check. It's going to be a problem. So he can't play bishop f5, but he also sort of can't play castles, because if he plays castles, then I will grab this pawn, probably. And now the pawn grab is not really risky, because after check, knight c3, my knight comes out. If you go bishop f5, I can grab a second pawn. Yeah, there's clear compensation here, but I think you probably don't have two pawns of compensation. You probably have one, but not two. So I think white would be good there. So okay. He took on c3, which is best. Here I did something interesting. This is very interesting. It wasn't good. I never play good things. I only play interesting things. So here I took on f6. And here was my idea. So, first off, I didn't think this was going to be a great piece for me. In a lot of lines, white can end up just sort of hitting nothing, hitting air with this bishop on these two diagonals. And what taking here has two benefits. First of all, when I force him to play e takes f6, he's never playing e5. I guarantee it. If he played e5, I would call the arbiter and say, this is not legal. So he can't play e5. The other thing I thought is that I thought that his bishop just was not going to be a good piece, because his bishop ends up getting really sort of shut out by these pawns. However, I think I underestimated black's sort of counterplay here. So I took the knight. He played dc4, which is correct. He doesn't want to let me take here and make this just a terrible piece. dc4, bishop c4. And let me just ask you, what long-term idea am I really underestimating for black here? Because black has actually a very reasonable position based on one sort of idea that I didn't appreciate the strength of. So this is our first chat question. What is black's big idea in this position? I'm going to run and get some water while you think. Yeah, black's gonna go f5, f4. It's sort of strange that I missed this idea for black, because it's the only idea for black. And f4 can oftentimes be strong even as a pawn sacrifice. He started off with b5, which is actually a blunder. I totally didn't punish this. Anyone have a good response to b5? Totally missed this. Never crossed my mind. Which is ridiculous. I can't believe I missed this. Queen e4 check. Checks captures threats. This is like winning. You have to play king f8. Queen e7, I take here with check, I'll grab a rook. I'll be very happy. So king f8. Here you can play queen c6, you can play bishop b5. Yeah, I mean, this is just utter disaster. So, okay, I'm not on my game here. I missed queen e4. I played bishop d3. Very sad. Castles, castles, a6. But I still have a pleasant position. Here I should probably go bishop b4. Just get on the long diagonal. Because after c4, he goes f5. And my position gets a little bit more difficult. But I think if I go bishop e4, he protects his pawn. Now I go c4. This is a big difference from the previous position in that my bishop has found a much nicer square on the long diagonal. So, yeah, this is just less good. That's interesting. So, I just want to go back because arc page is saying bishop takes b5 followed by queen e4. This is not working. And the reason is, now that the bishop is no longer on this square, queen e4, well met by bishop e6, black is winning. And so you do have to check first. It's important. Okay, so I should have played bishop e4. I play c4 instead, which is not as good, because after f5, my position becomes a little bit difficult. And here, I started to realize that, oh, I might not have a big advantage, because the move I wanted to play was rook b1. Just building up my queenside play, I'm going to play a4 and take here a whole bunch of times and, you know, try and win a pawn. But what I thought is after rook b1, I thought black would play f4. Like I mentioned, you can play this as a sacrifice, and here I think black actually gets a really good position. After e takes, if you go knight takes, it's not even a pawn sacrifice. This is just totally fine for black. So f4, you go e takes f4, and here black has this annoying move bishop g4. And the point is, you're going to get pawns back. You are somewhat obligated to play f3 here. If not, you're losing your d4 pawn. And if you lose your d4 pawn, I don't think you can really claim to have any advantage. So f3. And then black just goes back calmly to e6. And here, I mean, black has sacrificed a pawn, but what has he gained in return? He's activated his bishop. It's now doing something before it wasn't doing anything. And he's really made white's kingside pawn structure sort of ridiculous. Also, this knight has turned into just some horrendous piece, just stuck on e2. And pretty soon, if white plays normal moves like a4, yeah, I thought I might. The end of telling me I'm threatening bishop f4 because queen takes d4 comes with check, and I pick up the knight. Just to sort of show that takes. Knight takes f4, check, and queen takes f4. Here, black should not be worse whatsoever. White will get his pawn back over here, but there's no reason black should be worse. I think black might be better. So, in this position, I very begrudgingly played the move g3. I didn't want to, but I played it, because f4 just turns out to be very annoying there. So I played g3. Bishop e6, rook b1 as advertised, queen f6. Yeah, queen f6. He's trying to get play going with f4. But now my play starts up a4. Rook c8, this is a good move. He's preventing captures here tactically by hitting the queen. I played rook fc1. He played rook fe8. I wasn't a huge fan of this move. I thought he should go g5, but g5 is probably not as good a move as I thought during the game. The idea behind g5 is, of course, to go f4. But the problem is, when you play g5, you cut off the connection of this bishop to the e3 pawn. So I can just start taking stuff. Takes, and go like queen d2. And the point is, if you go f4, you're not threatening anything. Because after takes, your bishop's not on this pawn, it's even defended. So I'm just going to scoop this up for free, and I'll be a pawn out. You'll have maybe some compensation on the king side, but not a ton. So he played rook e8, but all of a sudden white is consolidating the position very, very well. I played queen d1. The queen steps out of the line, it gets ready to come to defend the king side if necessary, and I'm about to win a pawn on b5 if he doesn't do anything. So he took and played g5. So now, this is clearly a critical moment. White has achieved weaknesses on the queen side, but black is really starting to roll his king side initiative. So I spent easily 20 minutes in this position. And I'm not going to give you 20 minutes, but think about what you would play in this position. Come up with some ideas. I don't care if they're good ideas. You can think about it as coming up with candidate moves. What would be your candidates for white here? Because I think this is a very, very complicated position. If white's not careful, he can get really run over. Indeed. It's not an easy position. I'll say I was happy with the move I played, even if the computer claims it's not the best. Yeah, look for candidates in this clearly critical position. I've achieved weaknesses on the queen side, but black is rolling the king side. Archmage has the candidate move rook b6. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let's get some other candidates. Rook b6 can't be the only candidate move. Rooks, I assume that's going to be rook on b to c1. If not, let me know if you want rook c to c1. So there's two candidates. Anything else? I'll tell you, these were two of my candidate moves. I also had two other candidates. Actually, I had... No, I had... yeah, so queen c2 was one of my candidates. Queen d3 was not one of my candidates. Although maybe it should have been. The queen on d3 has an interesting function in that it protects the e3 and f3 squares. Rook c5 was actually one of my main candidates. It's not so dumb a move. But there's some idea behind Rook c5. However, I think it's just it should be a draw with best play after Rook c5. So if you think you're getting 2 moves in this position, you better think again. So I did have one last candidate, and the last candidate was the move knight c3. So let's take a look. Knight c3, black goes f4. My idea behind knight c3 was to go e4. But I think this is actually not great for white, because black has ideas of going f3, sliding in. Black can also do this annoying thing where he goes bishop g7, and it's not easy to defend this, really, at all. And so, I mean, I'm just going to go like this rook to d8, maybe c5. I'm just going to pile on. So this was not so much what I wanted. Black can also think about going f3, but black doesn't quite have any threats here, right? I mean, this is always met by queen f1. So it looks scary, but it's not so much. So knight c3 is certainly playable. Rook b6 was the first move mentioned. That's what I played in the game. It's not best, although it's very interesting. Queen d3, I assume black goes f4. How do you want to react to this? e4 or takes? I think both are playable. If you take... Yeah, I mean, this is a little scary. f3 is a more annoying threat with the queen on d3. I mean, if you ever have to take this, I don't think you're better at all. So yeah, I don't think queen d3 is very good here. Queen c2 I like a little bit more, in that it's putting some pressure here. And now if f4, take, here I maybe have this move d5. And that's really key in a lot of positions. A similar thing happens on rook on b to c1, f4, take. Here, you can probably... Well, here maybe you can't go d5, because there's a rook on c1. So d5, f3, right? And this actually you can take as well. The problem with f3 is that this rook has been opened up. But if you take, tempo here, not good. So if you're gonna play rook b c1, oops, sorry. If you're gonna play rook b c1, you do have to see a critical line. And you have to see that knight takes f4 is good for white. Because after bishop takes f4, there's queen g4 check. And you can't play bishop g5 because h4, and you're just winning material here. h6, I mean, you're still pinned. I can take this though. And the rook ending is just winning. But I mean, if you go queen g5, it's the same thing. Sorry, not that. Excuse me, queen takes f4. And here, this is just a really good rook ending for white. Is chess still a thing? Apparently. I play it. Yeah, so here, you have to... You probably should put a rook on d8, because if you go rook e4, I take this, and I'm worried about you, because I think this is just winning for white. This should be winning with this a-pawn here. Maybe not. Maybe it's tricky, but I mean, white's clearly better. So yeah, if you play rook bc1, it's the best move, but you have to see the variations. I also thought about rook c5 with this queen g4 idea, but the point here is actually that basically the ending is worse because instead of playing rook bc1, you played rook c5, which is a less useful move. So like queen g6, takes, 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 and now rook e4. And this, yeah, this is probably drawn. You also don't have to go rook e4, you can go rook d8 as well, similar to the previous positions. Maybe this rook, actually. Although I think white may still have some pull here, but this is not as clear. In the game, I played rook b6, which looks very attractive, but there is one fatal flaw. Not flaw, but there's one thing that makes this very difficult. So, after f4, how should white react? Well, this is a dumb question, actually, but I'll let you answer. White only has one move. Rook takes a6. I don't know if this is a bluff you want to be calling. The problem is I take e3, right? This just collapses instantly. No, you can't play this. No, you go ef4. ef4 is sort of an only move, I think. And here's what I missed in the game. So I saw ef4, and the only move I ever considered in this position was gf4. And my opponent agreed. G takes f4. What could be more natural? But after the game, the computer points out this highly problematic move, queen e6, which pretty much kills any advantage that white has. It's a really good move, which I'm surprised I missed. I sort of got in this automatic recapture mode. But black has this brutal tempo. It's a double attack, so there's only one move remotely playable. I mean, you can think about playing d5, but that's a little bit hairy. Because it is a piece sacrifice. It might be an okay piece sacrifice, but I doubt white will be winning there. So you go rook c2, takes f3 is a massive threat. It's a mating threat or a piece-winning threat. So you are somewhat obliged to play knight take f4. Oops. But I mean, I don't see how white could dream of winning this position. If I'm white, I'd be scared of losing this position. This looks like the sort of position I could lose pretty easily. Like something like king h8 here looks a little scary. Something like rook e3 looks a little scary. I could very easily lose this. I probably won't, but I mean, like this move, yeesh. Scary stuff. Rook takes c6. Do I want to bring my rook so far away from the action? That's a threat. Maybe I have a perpetual here or some queen g1 stuff. But yeah, clearly not better for white. But okay, he played gf4, which allows me to execute the idea. So what is the idea? And from here, you should be able to calculate to the end of the game. When I played this idea, the position I calculated actually came on the board. So it's interesting that you say knight takes knight takes f4 followed by queen g4. This is good. It's still good for white. This is still just a good position. But yeah, no, this is just good for white. But as you pointed out, there is this move d5, which is a problem for black. But you have to calculate, and you have to calculate accurately here. So I'm not going to put it on the board. I'm going to force you guys to actually do calculation. Crazy, I know. After d5, what is black's critical response? There's one very critical variation. After d5, queen d8 is the computer best move. I wouldn't call it the critical variation, though. After queen d8, it's clear that only white is better. White can, in that position, play... You can play d6. You can play knight take f4. You can maybe even play rook on b takes c6. Basically, white just gets a clearly dominating position there after queen d8. It's so passive. Oh, wait, queen d8 hits the rook, so you play rook b takes c6. I did miss that very subtle tactical point there. It wasn't subtle. f3 is critical. f3 is 100% critical. So d5, f3. Because black has to generate threats. If he doesn't generate threats, his position is just lost. d5, f3. What does white play? Knight c3 is probably good enough. Knight f4 is definitely good enough. I'll put this on board, because this turned out to be a really nasty combination that I pulled off. So d5, f3, knight c3, probably good enough. It's not clear how black is worming the queen in. Also, worming the queen in is never really a threat. Well, it could be, but something like queen f5, it's a little scary, right? What do you do here? Because the problem for you is there's this threat of like queen h3, queen f1, rook e1. Don't take this. If you take this, you might end up in trouble. This is scary, right? Knight c3. The computer finds a way out, but it's an only move. Who's got the Iron Man up in his head? Anyone made of metal? Made of silicone? The computer plays g4. If my opponent plays this against me, I am suspicious. I am very suspicious. No, if you go rook b takes c6, you're losing. You just lost. So yeah, knight f4, also playable. Here, there is this slightly annoying variation with queen d8. But you can just sort of give this pawn and take all the other pawns and be better in the ending. Like takes, takes, takes. Oh, not that one, sorry. You have to take here, actually. And you're on f7. So yeah, white is clearly better here. But I calculated this really nasty combination. Knight d4. I feel like this is the most logical move. And the reason this is the most logical move is that it's targeting the f3 pawn, which is really the source of all my pain right now. So what is really the obvious problematic response for black? Because black has a clearly problematic response to this move. Black has an only move to even pose problems here. Because if you don't pose me any problems, I'm just going to like take this and, you know, push, push, push. Do all sorts of horrible things to you. Bishop e3. What? So that's actually somewhat interesting. But I really doubt that this works. Take. I assume you're going to play f2 check. I can probably go to either square, but let's go to f1. And it's just like, what exactly is your follow-up here? Right, if you go rook takes e3, I think I can just take here. No, you're threatening this. So, but I have check takes. Yeah, check takes sort of puts the damper on this party, unfortunately. Yeah, no, otherwise this would have some venom, because otherwise it's not so clear. But, yeah, takes, rook e3. But, okay, so hold on. Maybe I should go king g2, right? Because then, if you go rook e3, I mean, it doesn't matter. I still win either way. The point is, boom. Rook e3 before f2. Legal. But here, are you threatening? You are not threatening f2. So I'll take. Because after f2 I go king g2. You can go rook e1. Doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna mate you. And I'm positive I have mate here. So this just isn't working. No, come on, I just played knight d4. Caused me problems. There was, I only considered one move for black in this position. I thought this was just a total only move for black. So, I'll put it on board. The only move I considered for black is rook e4. Only move I ever considered for black. And this is problematic. This truly can be a problematic move. There's a couple points. First off, you're pinned. And you're pinned, like, very unpleasantly. So if black gets time, he's just going to go bishop g7, take this a whole bunch of times, and be very happy. The other thing that black might do is black might sneak a queen over here somewhere and send an unpleasant rook down here. Well, queen takes f3, you lose. I'm pinning you. You're pinned. So, white has to play accurately from here. I had to see this beforehand. How does white get out of this alive? Because if it's black to move, black goes bishop g7. And white is not happy. So it's very important that white has the move here. Rook b takes, of course. What else are you doing? So, here, black really has two moves. Black can go rook d8, and the point is, you don't want this queen, because you become instantly mated. No fun whatsoever. But here, white can just take f3 any way he wants. Actually, not queen takes, because then, well, queen takes should be fine. You can also go rook c8. That's totally valid. But I also think that you can just take f3 and be happy. So, black played critically. What does white do? D takes. And here we see the crux of the problem. White is queening. Black simply is not quick enough. Bishop g7, c7. Take my knight. Have it. There are a couple other moves that need consideration. You can go queen e5, but queen e5 is well met by knight take f3, diffusing mate, hitting the queen. Queen e7 is well met by queen take f3, diffusing mate. He removed an attacker of the d4 knight. We played a little bit on, because my opponent found a move to continue the game, which is the move bishop f4, which I had actually seen. I was like, huh, that's cute. And it amused me that this showed up on the board. But it's just not good enough for black. Note that you really don't want this bishop. Taking this bishop would be very sad. But instead of taking the bishop, this bishop is poorly placed. It's cutting communication. The simple queen take f3 is good enough. And the problem is he can take this piece, but his bishop's hanging. So take, 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 take. It's a winning queen. Check. Queen f3, queen e4, queen c4. Black resigns. You can't stop c7. Or if you go queen c7, I take here, go queen b7. And you lose! Wah ha 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 ha. So yeah, this was a really interesting game, I thought. Sort of not panicking about black's kingside attack and getting, sort of busting up the queenside, getting that counterplay going. Put your faith in the counterplay in the center and the queenside. I thought that was a good example of that. All right, let's take a look at something else. So I'm going to talk briefly about the principle of two weaknesses and converting positionally better endings. So I was working with working with my coach on this, and he said there's like when you have a positional advantage in an ending, there's like literally a checklist you have to fill out. So the first checklist, or the first bullet on the checklist, is attack your opponent's weaknesses and tie him down. Tie his pieces down to defending a weakness. Then the second step on your checklist is create another weakness on the other side of the board, as far away as possible. If the further, the better. So you have to tie him down on one side of the board, create a weakness on the other side of the board. And then the third step is quickly transfer your pieces between the two weaknesses, and hopefully you'll eventually pick one of them off. So, with that in mind, I'm not talking about this position. We're going to look at other positions. With that in mind, oh, sorry, I wasn't clear. What should white play here? Actually, before you tell me what white should play, what is black's first weakness? F7 is not a weakness. You're never attacking F7, especially with your dark square bishop. It's totally impossible to attack F7. Correct. The black's first weakness is the outside pass pawn. His pieces will be tied down to this outside pass pawn. But if this is the only weakness that black has, white will simply never get anywhere, because this, like the king will just sit on b7. What do you do? So this is not enough. We need a second weakness. So Archmage is suggesting to play g5. Archmage is trying to get another weakness. But how does g5 help me do that? Yago's saying play h4, trying to get another weakness. How does that help me do that? Remember, I'm gonna need another weakness. I've got one weakness here. Gonna need another weakness. So you guys have told me that these moves are good. Why? Absolutely, that's the key point. And space doesn't matter. No one cares about space. It's all about you need the pawns on dark squares. If he just puts his pawns on light squares, you can agree to a draw. There's nothing to be done there. So here, you must play h4. It is the only winning attempt. If you play any other move, let's go g6. Yeah, and after h4, h5, there's going to be pawns fixed on the dark squares. We want to fix our opponent's weaknesses. So h4, very good. Here he can go g6, but then we still go h5. And the point remains there's going to be a weakness. And that will be his undoing. Basically what's going to happen, we're going to advance this pawn, probably sacrifice it, but then the king will run in here. The bishop is totally stuck, and the game will end something like this. It's not easy to win this position, but only black can make progress here. I can play bishop b4. I can bring my king around. I'm not going to play out the whole game because I realize that it's actually going to take a while. But I can always threaten you with the trade of bishops. That can sneak my bishop in. The king can try and sneak in through a5. A lot of problems for you. So yeah, h4, very critical. Right, let's see what's next. This one. Okay, you get your choice. Opposite colored bishops or same colored bishops? What do you want to go over? I'm only going to do one because then I have to make dinner. I'm hungry. Oh, man. Opposite colored bishops. Very good. Wait to play and win. So, king e5, f6, e7, d8. The issue with this is king e5, I'll play a5, king f6, I'll play a4, king e7, you're really threatening this, so I'll play king c8. And the problem you have is if you go king f8, let's go a4, or sorry, a3. And you can queen and force my bishop off, but you're gonna have to take this. I'll take this. It's a draw. A draw. A draw, you say? I do say a draw. So king z3 is the right idea. The point here is you have to keep this pawn fixed. King c3. The bishop goes. King b4. And as black, I will wait. What do you do? Just going back, Yago mentioned king c5. King c5, I think I just go a5. And this shouldn't be any good. Because you're going to run into the same problems. King e4, a4. In the other line that we were going through, bishop f7, I believe Starger was saying king a5. Okay, I'll wait. So the thing about going c8 is that you just won't queen this pawn ever. You actually need to keep both pawns. So you need to imagine a position where you could create progress. Okay, let's go king c5. One of the points of king c5 is that a5 is still unplayable, because a5 will be well met by king b5. Okay, I'll wait. I'm going to wait over here so you don't tempo me. Oops, didn't mean to do that. My apologies. I'm going to wait over here so you don't tempo me with this at any point. Now what? Oh, you want to play bishop e5. What's your idea behind bishop e5? Say I am unimpressed. I assume you're going king d6, because that was your idea. You're going king d6, right? Okay, but I'll go king c8. What are you playing? King c6. Chook. I'm an annoying little man, aren't I? And this looks like you're going to need to repeat. King d6, bishop f7. Not so easy. You have to find one last idea to convert. Let me ask you this. Maybe this will help. What's the problem that's preventing us from winning this position? Bishop d4 is bad. I go a5. Instant draw. So why aren't we winning this position? What problem are we facing? that pesky A pawn is, and so yeah, we're being blockaded on light squares, and when we go to win the bishop, the A pawn is diverting our bishop. So I can't help that my pawns are queening on light squares. There's nothing I can do about that. But how can I prevent this A pawn from diverting my bishop? Good idea, Strider. What move? Bishop c3. The only winning move, or the only winning idea. And this wins. The point being, any legal move, bishop a5. The bishop will still support the pawn, but also prevent this from running. Now, simply the king comes to f8, I queen, and now this is winning. The king will come to a6, or no, I'm just going to force a zugzwang actually. Come straight in. So, let's go back. Key points. A pawn can't run. That's going to mess up one of your two weaknesses. So you bring the king to stop the A pawn with tempo. So this comes with tempo. And other key points. This is really important. And this is the only reason that this works. The only reason that this works is that king d6 comes with a tempo. King d6 comes with the tempo of king d7. Because otherwise, if I can go king d6, a5, I'm totally fine. So you might be asking, okay, if king d6 comes with a tempo, why can't I go king c8? Well, let me play this a little better. Hold on, king b4. Let me go e6. Okay. So, no, sorry. Put it on f7. King c8. Because if you go king c8, king c6, there's just this check. But now I go king b5. Actually, no, I don't go king b5. Because king b5, king b7, I haven't really made progress. I think I just wait. I just make a waiting move. Yeah, and it's not really clear what you do here. Yeah. Yeah. You're out of moves here. Bishop b3. Well, king b5, king b7. How exactly am I winning this? Oh, this. Here we go. Yeah, this is what I want. And I go here. There we go. Yeah, I figured that. Okay. We're going to do one more opposite color bishops. This is white to play. So, this is an incredible position in my mind. This is a really incredible position. So as white, I'm worried because black has the very clear plan of king take a3, which is not so easy to stop. But you have to see massively ahead to see what the problems are here for white and sort of where the two weaknesses are. So I'm actually going to flip this around. Let's play for black. How would you make progress as black here? So I'm going to play for white. You guys play for black. How does black win this if white is careless? F3. No, I mean, here you go. You go and take my pawn. Okay. Now what? This is really the crux of this ending. This is winning for black. But how does he win? Bishop c6, okay. I will pass. Now the king needs to come back. He's not doing anything over here. Okay, I will do this. Actually, let's do this right. Okay, I protect it. A5. I'll take it. I assume you're going to take your pawn. And draw a grid. This is an instant draw. I'm just going to go bishop b8, c7. The problem for you is I just have a complete lockdown on the g3 square. I have a dark square blockade. So remember, the principle of two weakness says you need weaknesses on both sides of the board. The fact that you have two passed pawns over here, this is not what you want. You want a passed pawn over here and a passed pawn over here. So let's go back. A5 is not working. What should black do here? How do we generate that second weakness? King f4, exclam. White has a big problem here. White has a big, big problem. If the bishop moves on this diagonal, we take the pawn. If the bishop moves on this diagonal, all of a sudden, a5 comes crashing down like a ton of bricks, creating the second weakness, the b pawn. And if the king moves, well, bad things begin to happen to you. I start to do checkmatey things to you. Very unpleasant. It's not pleasant being checkmated. So this is just lost. This zugzwang is incredibly important. White can't move the king, he can't move the bishop. And that's a loss. So let's go all the way back to the beginning. How can white avoid this plan? This is a very high-level question. But how does white avoid this? Because black has a very, hopefully now, clear winning plan. Take the a-pawn, bring the king back, force a zugzwang, play a5. White has an only move. Bishop d8, king d3, bishop cs7, f3. This is basically the game position. Unfortunately not working. I can always push. Blocking the king is priority. How are you going to block the king? Pawns can be pushed. Who knew? King e2, f3 check. So, king d2. I was hoping someone would do this. This is one of the more brutal ways to meet your end. After bishop c4, you're having a bit of trouble stopping that f-pawn. In fact, you're having a lot of trouble stopping that f-pawn. Right, you're going to have to give a bishop here. The point being, king e1, king e3, f2, f1 is good night. So, and you really can't do anything else. This bishop can't cover the f2 square in time. So king d2 is unplayable. Unfortunately, here you must play king f2, and that is just lost, as we saw earlier. So unfortunately, king e2 is not good enough. We cannot stop the king from going to a3. We can only interfere with his future ideas. Strange, I know. a4. I will take it. And I'm going to do that. I don't think this is going to work as well as you guys think. And the reason is, okay, say I wait, because I can do that. Okay, this guy's stuck on this diagonal, right? Bishop d7. Now he comes here. I'm just going to put this pawn here. Great. And you lose a bishop. Shall I give us this one, or do we want more time? Starter says c6. I say, okay, I'll take it. What's your point? Yago, I'll get to that idea in just 1 second. Okay, so let's examine following the king. So the problem you have here so you can't go king d2 here. because, well, if you go king d2, takes king c3, this is not working because you're getting queened on. It just doesn't quite work tactically. It's actually a good idea, because if you could sit here and get the bishop here, it works. But black can play this accurate move, king c4. The reason this is accurate is now white cannot play bishop e3. And white will actually never not be in time. Yeah, this just doesn't quite work. It's a good idea, though. So, the correct move here is, I'm going to give it because we're struggling too much, c6. Double exclam. This shows incredibly deep understanding of the position. Let's understand why this works. Black takes and says, what are you doing? And now black goes and collects his pawn. And black comes back. I can play this too. And here, black plays king f4. What in God's name is different about this position? Bishop e7 would be a blunder, I think. a5? Maybe this works as well, actually. You're so right. This works as well. Because now you can go b takes. You cover this. I actually missed bishop e7. I had another idea with this move. No, bishop e7 is good. Bishop e7 works. Because after a5 takes, you can never... It's really hard to play b4. Although maybe I just bring my king. What exactly are you doing about this? The white king come over? Can the white king come over? I somehow don't believe you. First of all, I have this move as well. But doesn't this just win? The computer is saying a6 draws, but I don't understand why. Give me a second. I hope that at some point I will understand why. Okay, the computer changed its mind. The computer was dumb. This just wins. Because this comes, and you lose. Okay. You can't go bishop e7 now. You always have to play bishop takes e5, a5. That's what I thought. So what do we do, or why is this okay for white? Remember, this was a zugzwang in the other position. With the pawn on c5 removed, what move can white make? with the removal of this pawn, white can now play any king move. Now king moves are on the table. Because previously you were losing to all sorts of getting mated. Here you're not getting as mated anymore. Check. Go back. Black can try this. But now he's undefended this pawn, so check. You take here, I take f3. That I will draw. That's the only difference. You need this diagonal open so that 20 moves later, when you're in zugzwang, you're not in zugzwang. Obviously. Super obvious. I can't believe you guys missed that. Come on. I'm only joking. Be easy on yourselves. Alright, I'm going to sign off because I got to get myself some dinner. I am hungry. But this was fun. I miss doing this. I'm going to try and do some more soon. I'm playing a tournament this weekend, a 7-round tournament. So hopefully I get some interesting positions that I can share during that tournament. But yeah, this reminded me. I like doing this. I haven't done this in a while. I've been very busy. But thank you all for watching. I hope you had as good a time as me, and I will see you soon.